In the fantastical world of Warhammer, there exists a sport that combines fantasy, football, and brutal combat. Welcome to the universe of Blood Bowl. It's not your typical sporting event. Imagine a gridiron filled with fantasy creatures, orcs, dwarves, elves, and more. Now picture them not just throwing the ball and making touchdowns, but also engaging in a no-holds-barred battle, where the only rule is, there are no rules. Blood Bowl is a unique hybrid, born from the rich lore of the Warhammer universe, its roots deeply entrenched in the world of tabletop gaming. Over the years, it's evolved, adapted, and exploded onto the digital scene as a video game series, offering the same blend of strategic gameplay and chaotic combat that made the original so popular. So, buckle up as we dive deep into the lore of this chaotic yet thrilling game. Every game has a genesis, and Blood Bowl is no exception. Let's dive deep into the origins of this brutal yet captivating sport. Blood Bowl, as the legends tell us, was inadvertently created by an orc. Yes, an orc, a creature not typically known for its ingenuity, named Zug. Zug was not your average orc. He had a peculiar curiosity and an unusual knack for exploration. One fateful day, his adventures led him to stumble upon an ancient artifact. It was not a weapon, nor a treasure chest, but a rulebook. A rulebook for a sport long forgotten, lost in the annals of time. Zug, with his limited literacy skills, managed to decipher the essence of the game from the rulebook. He found the concept of organized violence, coupled with the thrill of competition, immensely appealing. The idea of channeling the innate orcish aggression into a structured sport was something that struck a chord with him, and thus, the seed of Blood Bowl was sown in his mind. Zug took it upon himself to revive this ancient sport. He introduced it to his fellow orcs, and despite their initial skepticism, they soon found themselves drawn to the savage beauty of the game. The raw physicality, the strategic maneuvers, the adrenaline rush, it was a perfect fit for the orcish sensibilities. Word of this new sport spread like wildfire across the Warhammer world. It wasn't long before other races, each with their unique strengths and strategies, joined in. Elves with their agility, dwarfs with their endurance, humans with their versatility, and many more. Each race brought something unique to the Blood Bowl pitch. The sport quickly became a favorite pastime, a spectacle that drew crowds from all corners of the Warhammer world. From a forgotten rulebook to the most popular sport in the Warhammer world, Blood Bowl's rise was meteoric. It was a game that transcended racial boundaries, united by the shared love for competition and violence. All thanks to an orc named Zug. And so, Blood Bowl was born, a game of blood, sweat, and cheers. In Blood Bowl, it's not just about the game, it's about the teams and the races that play it. There's an incredible diversity amongst the teams that step onto the blood-stained turf of Blood Bowl, each hailing from one of the many races that populate this world. And it's this diversity that makes each match as unpredictable as it is exciting. Take, for example, the orcs. These brutes are all about power and aggression. They're not the most nimble or strategic players, but they make up for it with their sheer strength and resilience. If you're up against an orc team, expect a bruising encounter. But remember, they're not unbeatable. You just need to outmaneuver them, use their lack of agility against them. Then there are the dwarves, sturdy and strong, like miniature mountains that have taken to the field. They're not as outright aggressive as the orcs, but they're just as tough, if not tougher. Dwarves excel in holding their ground, making it difficult for opponents to break through their defenses. Their playstyle is all about patience and control. They may not score as quickly, but they're masters of wearing down their opponents over time. But if you prefer speed and agility over brute force, then the elves are the team for you. They're the polar opposite of the orcs and dwarves. Elves are all about finesse, agility, and precision. Their players can weave through defenses with an ease that borders on the magical. They're the masters of quick, high-scoring games, capable of turning the tide in a heartbeat. And these are just a few of the teams you'll find in Blood Bowl. There are many more, each with its own unique characteristics and strategies, and that's one of the things that makes this game so thrilling. You never know what you're going to face when you step onto that field. From the brutish orcs to the agile elves, every team has its own way to claim victory in Blood Bowl. In the bloody arenas of Blood Bowl, there's only one rule: there are no rules. A statement that might seem contradictory, but in the world of Blood Bowl, it's the absolute truth. This is a game where chaos and unpredictability reign supreme. A game where the unexpected is not just a possibility, but a certainty. Now you might be wondering, how can a game function without any rules? Well, let me assure you it's not for the faint of heart. In Blood Bowl, the objective is simple: score points. But the means to that end? That's where things get interesting. Players can and do employ any means necessary to get that ball into the opponent's end zone. This can include, but is certainly not limited to, attacking opponents. And when I say attacking, I don't just mean a gentle push or shove. No, we're talking about full-fledged, no-holds-barred combat. This isn't a game for those who prefer strategy and finesse. This is a game for those who love chaos, who thrive on the unexpected. And let me tell you, there's been no shortage of outrageous incidents on the Blood Bowl field. There have been instances of players being thrown across the field, of teams using magic to teleport the ball into the end zone, of players literally being torn apart in the heat of the game. And the crowd? They love it. The louder the cheers, the bloodier the game. But don't be fooled. Despite its violent nature, Blood Bowl is not just about mindless aggression. There's a certain art to navigating the chaos, a certain skill in knowing when to strike, when to hold back, when to take the risk, and when to play it safe. So to all prospective players out there, remember this. In Blood Bowl, it's not just about scoring touchdowns. It's about surviving the match. It's about embracing the chaos, thriving in the face of uncertainty. And above all, it's about knowing that in this game, anything goes. Because in Blood Bowl, there's only one rule. There are no rules. In Blood Bowl, it's not just about scoring touchdowns. It's about surviving the match. Blood Bowl is more than just a game. It's a spectacle of violence, strategy, and fantasy. We've taken you through the origins of this brutal yet captivating game, where fantasy realms collide and the only rule is that there are no rules. A world where orcs, elves, and humans are not just fantastical creatures or mythical beings, but players on a field, each with their own strengths, weaknesses, and strategies to master. We've explored the different teams and races, each with its unique character and playstyle. From the agile and cunning elves, the brute force of the orcs, to the balanced and versatile humans, Blood Bowl offers a diverse range of options for every player. And finally, we've delved into the lawlessness that makes Blood Bowl so unique. The thrill of unpredictability, the chaos of the game, and the satisfaction of strategic victory. Whether you're a fan of fantasy, football, or just enjoy a good bout of chaos, Blood Bowl is a game that delivers on all fronts.